age, and now into technical documentation for around, now it's written 17, but more than that, almost more than that. And he has been involved. So while uh, he was also not from the tech writing background, because none of us grew up to be, had this dream that one day we are going to become a technical writer. So we all transitioned from some profession to this profession. And during this transition, we learned that we learned a lot of things on our own. And then Puneet thought that why not share it with the community who want to transition, who want to come up into technical writing, see what technical writing is all about. And this is how he started with Tech Writers Tribe. That was his vision, his mission. So over to Puneet Srivastava. And he's a great mentor. He just uh, he loves this tech writing is his passion. He says, and there's like a very dearth of technical writing skilled tech writers nowadays. So that's why he's committed to do better for the technical writing community of, specifically starting from India. So over to you, Puneet.
Thank you so much, Pallavi. I hope I'm audible.
Yes,
Okay, great.
you are.
I assume I have some problem with my video. This camera, I'm not sure if it's working or not. So
Okay.
uh, I'm switching it on, but it's not working. But I hope that doesn't stop us from the presentation today.
Of
So,
course, of course.
so sorry, folks. I'm unable to come to be visible, but I will be certainly audible. And wherever I won't be audible, feel free to ping and tell that, okay, you are unable to hear the voice so that I can check it immediately. Okay, so first of all, thank you so much, Pallavi, for the introduction and letting everybody know what TWT is, what's our mission and goal. And primarily today's session, which is we are conducting right to conclude this year, to have the motive fulfilled. Basically, that's the motive, to get ourselves skilled. Those who are already skilled, fair enough. Those who want to join this industry, who not the industry, who want to join this field of technical writing, they should know that what actually goes on. Okay, so today's session will be divided into three parts. First, we will touch upon how and what's of people who want to enter this field of technical writing. Then second part, we will cover for those people who are already technical writers and they want to grow. And then the third part will be senior ICs or individual contributors, senior experienced technical writers who want to become a manager. Whatever suggestion by experience I have, I can provide. So these three parts we will be covering one by one. And I have already received almost 60 plus questions from different people. I'm hoping that this presentation will answer most of those, but yes, we will have the Q&A round and you can feel free to ask your questions whenever you want. In between, if I'm talking, I just request you can use the chat box also to type the message. Okay, so in this session, I'm not sure about the names here, but yeah, during registration, we saw a lot of people who are not into technical writing keen to join today's session, and of course, our technical writers who are in this field. So let's see how we can help you understand each and every bit of it. So let's start from this field. So technical writing field. If somebody wants to enter this field, what exactly they need to do? Who are they who want to enter this field? When we talk about technical writing field and especially about IT industry, generally the basic qualification everybody asks for is a graduate in any subject. Remember that, graduate in any subject. Okay, so there are people who are students who are either finishing their studies or have just finished studies and they are looking for a good career. So that's one category. Then there are working professional from non-technical writing. TW stands for technical writing. I will be using that TW abbreviation. So for those of you who are not aware, please remember that TW will be technical writing. So somebody who is already working, probably 1 year experience, 5 year experience, and we come across people who are having even 15 years of experience or 20 years of experience in some other field. They are pretty well established working professional, but for different reasons, they want to switch. Then how does technical writing help them? How it turns to be a good option to them? Other option is you are working professional, but you are in IT and you belong to some other field. For example, you may be a developer, you may be from QA, you may be a BA, business analyst, so some other field who know how IT field works, but they want to join technical writing. So there are different people, different set of people, and then of course we have homemakers. There can be different categories of homemakers, somebody who has taken a break due to personal reasons, and then they want to start the career again. Somebody who has never worked in life, but now at some point of time, they realize that, okay, now I am ready to work and earn. So homemaker can have multiple categories, and there is a new category which I have put here. Somebody who is 40 plus, I won't call 40 an old people, but yeah, the seniors, okay, 40 plus, they might be working somewhere or they might not be working, but they want a career which gives them some good earning, peace of mind, a settled life. So what we call, you might have always heard about these two words, work life. So work life balance everybody is seeking. So then also they come to technical writing. So all these categories, they have one question: can I become a technical writer? So can they become a technical writer? Simple answer is yes. And to show that, I will just show you one screenshot here, which is taken from LinkedIn. Somebody has posted there, which basically shows how different kind of people from different streams enter technical writing. So this is not my picture, or this is not drawn by me. That's why the credit is given here, LinkedIn post. So whichever field you are, whether you are from a tech related field or a non-tech related field. Non-tech related field would simply mean you may be a teacher, you may be a journalist like me, which I was long back. You may be a content writer also, you may be somebody else. You might be working as a fashion designer, you may be working somewhere else. Whichever field you are working in, if you want to come and become a technical writer, the option is open. There are options and there are paths which you can simply follow and do that. The only thing is, if you are working in a different field, you also understand whatever field you are working in, it has some unique skills. Every field requires some unique skills. In the same way, technical writing also requires some unique skills. So all you need to do is you need to prepare yourself for those skill set to become a technical writer. One thing is very good. So far it is prevalent. Anybody from any background. We keep on getting these questions, so that's why I'm emphasizing. Even people have filled the form and they have asked this question. Say somebody says, I am from commerce background. I'm a history graduate. Okay, I'm into fashion designing. I'm a developer. All these questions and backgrounds we have got today also. So can I become a technical writer? Yes, you can become a technical writer. Please remember, to become a technical writer, at least if you want to work in an organization, the first thing you need is you need to be at least a graduate. So whatever field you have completed your graduation in, it allows you. But when you apply, it does seek those unique capability that the technical writer is supposed to have. Other thing, although we are primarily, surrounded by technical writers in IT, but technical writer, for your information, is one such field which you will find in almost all kind of companies, whether it is a software company or whether it is a hardware based company. Technical writer is required wherever there is a product. That information about how to use the product, how to understand the product, the customers need that information. Developers who prepare software or engineers who prepare any kind of hardware product, whether it's an aeroplane, whether it's some other machine, whether it's an automobile, anything. People from other field, they just prepare it, but how the customer will use it, this is where a written material is required. That's where technical writer comes in picture. The interesting point about this is, probably some of you who might not be knowing technical writing may think I'm talking about technical writer, but there are other fields where we don't hear about technical writer. Yes, you may not have heard about that term technical writer because the name of designation changes from companies to companies, from domain to domain. The name of designation may change, but overall, as long as the responsibility and role is about understanding the product and preparing documents, that is globally one term is acceptable, that is called technical writer. Otherwise, if we get into terms, then some companies use it as information developer, some companies use that technical support engineer. Different terms are there. You may get confused that, okay, how can a technical support engineer, when we say support, then it is support team which receives calls from customers and resolves their queries. But yeah, based on the company's structure or whatever names they can pick. So focus on roles, and then you will find that almost every industry has technical writers. And it's not today. It's from many years. They have a technical writer. Why we talk about technical writer today, why we are focusing on freshers, we are trying to help others get into technical writing. The reason is simple. Today, technical writing, when I say that it is almost in every industry, that means there is a lot of opportunity, a lot of jobs, especially when we talk about IT field. If you are on LinkedIn, I'm not sure how much Naukri.com and others care about it or cater to it, but if you are on LinkedIn and if you have a good network, you will every day see some new job posts about technical writing. The better part is, due to COVID, that's the positive side of COVID for us, that now you can also work sitting at home as a technical writer, also in other roles, but as a technical writer, you can also just have a laptop, a good internet connection, sit home, take projects. Those projects can come from Indian companies. Those projects can come from global companies. You can earn in INR, you can earn in dollars, pounds, or whatever. And yeah, one point like what Sumit has mentioned, thanks Sumit. Yes, that point needs to be added. It's not, I said product, so it's not just product, any kind of company, even if they are providing services, because they do need different kind of documents. And this is where we will come into different kind of documents when it is required. Generally, it is said, who is a technical writer? Okay, people who prepare user guides and user manuals. Okay, that's a very generic way of saying technical writers are not just limited to user guides, user manuals. Any kind of report, marketing collaterals, any field you think about where you see some written content about a product or a service. And although it was prevalent a bit before also, but nowadays a different form of content is also emerging where technical writers are helping. That's the visual content. Technical writers are very much into creating videos also. Earlier also some companies were using, now many companies are demanding in the JD. So again, what is those kind of visual stuff, those videos, that is also about helping the customers on how to use the product, how to understand the product. So anything related to the product, think about a role called technical writer. Okay, now if you want to, if you are not already a technical writer, and even if people who are here in already working as technical writer, one message for all of you, for those who are already experienced, you might not find this part useful, but there is just one request to all of you. And this request is coming from some of my experiences where I see LinkedIn posts, people talking, and then often at times in groups also, where somebody asks an existing technical writer, probably that technical writer is 5 years of experience, or at times 10 years plus experience also. Hey, how is this technical writing field? Can I become a technical writer? Many people give very nice answers, very relevant answers. But answers of some technical writers are very misleading. They say, oh yeah, technical writing is a very cool field. It's very easy field to work. All you need to know is English. And you can get started. It gives you a very good work-life balance, and technically what they mean is less work and more fun. When you say this kind of work-life balance, easy work-life, and it gives you good money. So I get a bit disturbed by such comments when at least experienced technical writers tell about this field, although they are working day in and day out. They are sweating out, they are working round the clock. And still, when it comes to giving suggestion, how can you project that this field is very easy? I don't think in today's world, being a technical writer is so easy. So here we will just focus upon what are the entry points, what all you will need. So whether, again, coming back to the first part, whether you are a student, whether you are a working professional from some other field, or whether you are from IT, but some other department, the learning curve to become a technical writer is the same. First, of course, the primary thing that you will need to enter this field is the language. So in our case, we will talk about English because primarily in India, the companies that majority of the companies work where they use English. But yes, you should not be surprised. Like I said, that you sitting in India, you can work for global companies. So there are companies from other countries like Germany, Russia, and many countries of Europe where English is not used, even Japanese. But there are people sitting in India working for those companies as technical writer. And what language are they using? Whatever language that company is using. Germany-based company will ask you to write in German. A Japan-based company will ask you to write in Japanese. So we will not get into those complexity. That's why I said you need to have good language control. So majority we will be talking about English. So what are the prerequisites? If you have to tell somebody to how to become a if you want to become a technical writer, what are the prerequisites? This prerequisite word is highlighted for some reason, which I'll come to that a bit late, in a bit later, I think after 2 or 3 slides. First thing first, language control. So let's be restricted to English. Whether you are a student or whatever background you have, first of all, you need language control. So good control over English. And when we say good control, your vocabulary, your grammar, your written part of English should be good. And here I'm not talking about American English, Canadian English, Australian English, or any other English. Generally in India, if you have studied from India, what we learn is British English. Fine. So at least for British English, your grammar part should be good. Grammar is the base. It should be good before you want to become a technical writer. If you don't have that much control, I will always recommend first polish that and then join this industry. Otherwise, later on, you will have a lot of problem. So language control is must. Written part is most important because the profession says technical writing, and generally what you provide is written content, whether it is in the form of document or even in videos, you do provide written content. But yes, as a technical writer, when you're working in office, it's always good to have good spoken English also. If you're working for any industry, especially IT, you need to have that passion. Yes, you will ask, do I need to be technical to become a technical writer? To start with, you don't need to, but you should have that passion that, okay, if I want to become, then yes, I will expose myself and try to learn different types of technology, because a technical writer is not just about writing a few lines of English. How will you write that? You need to understand the product. The product works on some technology. If you are scared of understanding it, then you are in for some trouble for yourself. So you should have that passion. That is why I have not said it is mandatory to understand. Passion, because I understand, say if somebody is a teacher, somebody is just a general student of some other subject, not from computer science background, you might not have got exposed to technology except using WhatsApp and other things that, you know, other applications on your mobile. But then you should be ready. When it comes to technical writing, you should be ready that you will not be scared. And there are ways to understand that. So that's the basic prerequisite. Prerequisite simply means before you start doing something, what you should be ready with. Prerequisite doesn't mean that when you start doing and then you use it. Okay. So those are the primary things first I will say. Now entering the field, how like we discussed before, you need to have some unique skill for every profession. So technical writing has some unique skill set. That requirement is there. You can find it anywhere. You can Google it. And of course, in discussions with us also, or anybody who is a technical writer, they can tell you there is this specific skill set which you need to have. You want to know more about technical writer, try to expose yourself to more of reading, many good reading material you can find when you search, and then start practicing the writing skill. Because ultimately, whatever you do, you will be asked to write a document. This is just my point, attend a certificate course, and just a disclaimer. I have not put this point just because TWT runs a course on technical writing certification. By attending our sessions, we never ask you to attend our courses. Those are a different thing. Why I have placed, why is attending a certificate course good? For example, just put yourself in the shoes of a manager who is looking for technical writers, probably fresher. You provide so say there are two set of people, one set of person, a graduate from any field, and that person shares the resume. There is not a single line about technical writing in that resume. Other person who has got certified, and in that resume the person writes certified in technical writing, and as a result of that, because during the technical writing course that person must have done different kind of projects to learn the skill set of a technical writer, that person will, so remember that person also doesn't have working experience as a technical writer, but that person has learned, and that person will put in the resume. So I'm sure even if you are the manager, you will first prefer that candidate whose resume shows some signs of learning technical writing. Individually, that manager doesn't know any of those persons who have applied, but your resume matters. First entry is that, unless you get a call, whether you are an experienced writer or not, doesn't matter. You should get the call. So this is where first thing. Second thing is learn the skills of a technical writer. How are you going to learn on your own? There are people who have learned on their own, but there are people who need hand holding also. So depending upon what your quality is, if you are a good learner on your own, please use all the material available across all the search criteria and websites and learn it on your own. But if you think you have a challenge, you should join a course. And how does the course help you? It's a very simple thing. Instead of working on your own, a course will provide you a packaged steps, a proper guidance. Any of the course, anywhere probably you will find there will be people who will be experienced technical writer. They will be teaching you. So you will get a good guidance. And since you are entering the field for the first time, it's very important to prepare as per the norms. So this is why I emphasize on a certificate course. Yes, it needs some investment, but you don't become, a developer or an MBA without some investment. There also you invest something, right? Everywhere, whatever field you are into, you are investing something. Even when you go to college, you are paying the fee. In the same way, you want to join a career which looks like very shining, very good for your work-life balance, where you can sit home also and work, all that nice things you see. Then you should also think about investing, and investing is in your career. You are investing in your career. So if you learn properly and then get into the field, you have a bright future. Otherwise, you will always come across many technical writers who will say, I have an experience of 1 year, 2 year, or 5 years. And then at later stage of their life, they find problem in growing because they don't have their basics right. You will find that kind of technical writers also. Reason is simple. Our field doesn't demand a certificate. You will be selected even if you don't have a certificate in your resume. That's why that point one is important. If you can learn on your own, then also you can get through. All you need to do is reflect it on your resume. And when you enter this field, how overall, when we say, how is it different? How is technical writing different from others? Can anybody, I think it's getting a bit, turning into a bit of monologue, and this question I'm sure many of you can answer. Can somebody help me get the answer of this? How is a technical writer different from others? Others mean anybody. I'm talking about professional, not personal trait.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Pranay.
Yep. Yes.
This is Subhashish here. So, like, basically, what I think is like technical writing field is a very diverse field, and as you mentioned previously, that we don't need any kind of certificate for it. So, like, it is open to everyone who is willing to take this course or willing to get into this technical writing field. So, I think that what makes it different from the others.
Right. That's one good point. Any other pointers? Yes, Akash. Voice is not so audible.
Hello, now?
Yeah, better now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I was saying technical writers, as a technical writer, we evolve with technologies. We are not technology specific as a profession. So
Right.
we do tend to work on different technologies.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. And to answer this question, just to add one more point, yesterday I was having a discussion with somebody, and that person is an experienced technical writer, and she was explaining the pain in her current job. And she just asked me one question, that Puneet, is a technical writer just a technical writer? Or at times, are we supposed to work like a developer also? Tester is equal to quality analyst also, product manager also. So technically those persons who work as a technical writer will understand at times you do the work of those people also. And at times it's an organizational procedure. And at times your work, the way you work, it demands like this. We will get into that when we get to the technical writing part. So, but yeah, just remember that technical writer is just not about writing. For that writing part, you have to do many other things which actually people from other fields do. So when we talk about skill set of a technical writer, the common words I have taken, which are very close: content writer, instructional designer. So they have their own skill set and they have their own kind of output which they need to provide. Content writer can write blogs, they can write a lot of content. There will be a lot of content writer, you will know. They can write about any topics, but generally the content writer part is not considered the covering the technical aspect. The presentation of content is very different. The way a technical writer writes a content is very different from how the content writer writes. Instructional designer, again, if you are aware, they generally prepare learning videos and other stuff. The way of working, the kind of skill set required for that is also very different. As a technical writer, what you need to do, that's the basic question. So the designation things will make you think, okay, technical writer, just writing. But how will you write? Unless you think right. The first thing is, and you will say, what a stupid slide it is, thinks. Who doesn't think? Yes, everybody thinks. But as a technical writer, the way of thinking is a bit different. And if it is not different, then you are not a technical writer. A reason, I will tell you a very small example. We talked about English language. Now you tell me, even in India, those people who have at least done a proper schooling and all, who doesn't know English? Now let's take a step forward. Technical writing, generally, it has come from, American companies and other companies. So historically, those people were started having technical writers. Now it has come to India. Now means many years before, and as a result, we have so many jobs for technical writer. Now think about this. People in America, their native language is English. They don't need to be a technical writer to write good English. That's their native language. So if there is an American company, if there are there are American employees only, developers also, product managers also, business analysts if they have, all the roles are filled by Americans. Then why do they need a separate role of technical writer? Can't the developer write the document? That person is also an American. Any other role, even basically, I will say, even HR there. If that person is an American, that person knows English. They can also write. They tried it, actually. It's not like they did not try. Earlier, developers or somebody else were writing the documents. But then they realized that, yes, we do have people who are native writers. We do have developers who are Americans. They can write English very well, speak English very well, like in your mother tongue, right? For my mother tongue is Hindi. For you, mother tongue could be something else. Everybody, I mean, right from people on the streets who might not be even educated, they also speak mother tongue very nicely. And you will also speak mother tongue very nicely. But then in the same way in offices, what is the difference? So when we talk about that difference, what happened actually? Why did actually technical writing come into picture? Long back, probably 1960s or so, developers were involved in all kind of documentation, even this product documentation, any kind of documentation. Developers or other people in the organization who have some free time, okay, apart from their core role, they will write the documents, and that document will go to the customers with the product. Then slowly, as the business grew, they realized that, okay, this thing is not working. Developers are really good. They have prepared a very good product and they have the best understanding of the product. But still, when they are writing about that product, somehow it is not in sync with what the customer wants, how they will understand it. This is where they realized we need somebody who is good in writing, certainly, but who is also good in understanding the product, who can think from the end user's perspective. Remember, this is where now we are differentiating. Just English is not enough to be a good technical writer. If that's the case, actually the role of technical writer would have never emerged. Again, repeating, because it started from primarily from USA and everybody there knows English. So you don't need to have a post designation called technical writer. But during this product selling and interacting with customers, they realized that no, this is not working. So then what they did, from their team only initially, of course, they did not hire technical writer because that time there were no professional technical writers to say. So from their team only, those people who were more inclined towards writing and of course had the knowledge of technology and the product, they said, okay, you guys focus more on writing. They started doing that. Slowly it evolved further, and then we came to a status where it was widely accepted this will not work. We need professional technical writers. We need people who only focus on writing. And how will they write? To write that, yes, for English, they should have proper control where they can use that English to present a product in a way where customers can decipher it properly. They should not write the language of developers. They should not write the language of product managers. They should write the way customer understands, the end user understands. So this is where came the thinking part. So the person who can think like a technical writer. I hope this point is clear. And now this slide doesn't appear like a stupid slide to you. This thinking part, a technical writer thinks in a very different way. For example, a developer thinks in a very different way. A developer has his or her own way of thinking. I, at least as a technical writer, can never match that. But yeah, as a technical writer, I have my own way of thinking, and I'm sure most of the developers, whether they are native or not, they won't be able to match it. So first part is thinking, and then comes the writing part. Okay, unless you think properly, you can't write properly. And this has nothing to do with technical writing. You think about you are writing a letter to somebody. Okay, these days you don't write a letter, you type WhatsApp messages. But even to type a WhatsApp message, even to the closest person, forget about the professional circle and even to the closest person, don't you think before what you write? Yes, no? Can I get some answer? Or hands?
Yes.
Do you think?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
So even for a
Yes.
simple line with people whom you know, even if it's a WhatsApp message, you are careful. You think first and then you write. Now, when we are talking about a profession, that too about technical writing, of course, you need to think first. And here the challenge is you don't need to think like yourself. You don't need to think like a developer with whom you are sitting all the time. You need to think like someone with whom you have never sat and probably you have never met and you will never meet also. That's the end user. You need to understand that user, end user. So that's the big challenge. Although these are just two words, thinking, understanding the audience, understanding the product. It might appear very simple, but this is the big game. Those people who are able to do this very nicely, they are called really good technical writers in our industry. And wherever they go for interviews and all, they never fail. Very seldom they will fail. They get the best of the salaries. When we talk about technical writing salaries and all, that's a different case. Second part is writing. When we talk about writing, yes, it's the same 26 alphabets of English. It's the same set of words which Oxford Dictionary or Cambridge Dictionary or any other dictionary will provide you. Okay, technical writing, when we say technical writing, English doesn't add any further feather. It's just those 26 alphabets, the same words, but the way it is used, the way it is written is different. A very simple step, if I ask any of you to write, if you are not a technical writer, the way you will write will be very different from the way a technical writer writes. So this is where basically you will have to learn that art, that authoring process. There are global processes, there are global rules associated with it. And those rules have been set after proper research. You need to follow that. So this is all the learning part of the technical writer. So if you want to become a technical writer, there is a lot to do. Okay, that thinking part you will have to develop, that writing part you will have to develop. So all of those who are here, if you are here to know about technical writing, yes, there is a long drill, but in that drill, it is very much possible. The only thing that you need to do is you need to prepare yourself for it mentally. That okay, there is some learning involved. Let's learn first and then jump into the field. Once you jump into the field, future is very bright. You start with a salary which many industries don't give you. Then the growth path, even if I just talk about numbers, and when I said about good technical writers and average technical writers, there are instances where people with 4 to 5 years of experience are getting 20 lakh plus salary I'm talking about. There are instances where people with 10 years plus are getting 11 lakhs, 10 lakhs. Why? That's for you to figure out. But today's world provides so many opportunities that there is no end. It's all limited to what efforts you are putting. Even when you become a technical writer, you need to be skilled, you need to keep learning to stay updated with the market trend. How we will come to the second, we are just coming to the second part, there we will talk about it. So all these, the future is very bright. And yeah, just to conclude the this fresher part, today's world, at least in IT, what's happening? If somebody needs a data, I can share with you. People are looking out for technical writers, and most of the job ads you will see now, they don't ask for 10 years of experience in data. They don't ask for you need to know 10 different tools, you need to know this, you need to know that. They are saying, even for experienced technical writers, all we need is that the basics should be fine. What are the basics? That person should be able to think like a technical writer, write like a technical writer. We are not going to train them because this is one impossible thing. If they don't know, obviously they will never do that. Tools and all, probably if they don't know, we will train them. That's one basic demand. Second thing, the behavioral part, that at least in IT companies, most of the companies work in agile environment, that if there is an experienced candidate, they should know how to work in that agile environment, how to handle that pressure, how to work fast, how to interact properly with people. So these are behavioral part more than the technical skills. And this is where the message for all the people who want to come into this field is try these basics first, and I'm sure once you join this field, you will have a good future. So before we move to the second part, any question from anybody? If no, then we move to the second part about people who are already technical writer. What can they do further? You have become a technical. Yes.
Excuse me, Puneet, I think we have a hand raised. Priyanka, you would like to ask the question?
No, her hand was raised for previous yes.
Okay, okay. Fine. Anybody has a question, then they can simply unmute themselves and ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So now.
Sorry about that. Yeah, please continue.
No problem. Now you are already a technical writer. Now here when I say a technical writer, I am focusing on ICs, individual contributors. You can be a junior technical writer, senior technical writer, or any other kind of technical writer. Wherever you are in your career, how do you move ahead? So let's first see what's the general ladder. Somebody starts as intern or associate, then technical writer, senior technical writer, principal, staff, lead. If principal, staff, lead is like, overlapping, then forgive me, because many companies use different kind of names at different level. But these are the popular names as ICs we get. So this is well-defined thing. I don't need to explain it, that from where you start and how you grow with the number of years of experience. But then the only thing here I will like to add is it's not a government job where if you are having 0 years of experience, you are an intern. If you are having 0 to 2, you are associate. If you are having 2 to 5, it's a general understanding. But it's not necessary that to become a senior technical writer, you need to be 5 years plus only. There are cases where somebody has performed exceptionally well within the first 2 to 3 years and they have been made senior technical writer. The same way it gets further complicated when we talk about principal, staff, and lead. It is not based on your number of years that you have served. It's based on your skill set that a company identifies which role you are more suitable to. So your skill set matters a lot if we just talk about the IC ladder. The second part, if wherever you are in that IC ladder, what's the other aspect where a technical writer can try the hands-on? Information architect, I'm sure all of you must have heard about. Technically, what happens with information architect? Okay, before that, I keep on mumbling. Anybody will like me to help here just to tell how is information architect technically different from a technical writer? Any role? Anybody here aware who is who is an information architect? IA role, if you have heard about? No?
Someone who is more
Yeah,
responsible for organizing the content.
hi, am I
Organize.
audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't have much experience, but I'm just, if it's okay to guess, information
Yeah.
architect. Yeah, would be the someone who would be actually designing or structuring the information that we have or the documents that we have within the company.
Yeah, it's like a bull's eye, yes. Wonderful, Prachi. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. So this is where a technical writer generally focuses on how to prepare content, although they are also supposed to think, but ultimate output is that. Information architect is generally somebody who plans. So if an organization has information architect as well as technical writers, then the flow of project will be first the information architect will plan the design, the content strategy. And then based on that design, the writers will join to fill in the content. Now, this information architect, if you have experience of working with MNCs, multinational companies, where primarily you have worked with US-based clients or US-based colleagues also, you may have noticed that in US and some other countries, this role has been very prevalent, information architect. But mostly in India, you will get the role of technical writers. That was before. Reason was the same, that primarily we in India were at that point of time not so skilled to become information architect. That needs a different kind of thinking. Now many are doing it, and even thankfully in India also we have this role. Many people are grabbing this role. So yes, information architect, when we say, it's a bit more about more understanding of the product, and so you are considered a senior, a better technical writer in that perspective. And so information architect is one thing you can think about. It gives you a better salary too, no doubt about it. Okay, and it gives you better respect too. Okay, so that's one role. Editor, many technical writing teams will have an editor. Again, this editor post was also primarily given previously to people based in US. Now you will see in India, many companies, they are having this editor role. There are big teams and they are focusing on editors. And if you have worked with editors, the simple how it works with technical writers will prepare the document for the release, and then it goes to the editors, editorial team, whatever be the team. And unless the editor approves your content, please remember, SME might have approved it, product manager might have approved it, even your manager might have approved it. But if the editor puts a question mark and that question mark is not resolved, your document cannot be published. Editor is a very powerful role. So yes, if you have the right skills from technical writer, you can become editor also, and then transforming into other roles. UX writing, UX design, you must have heard a lot about it. First thing I would like to tell, I always tell, technical writer and UX writer are two different entities, both are different roles. Yes, as a technical writer, at times in some organization, you help in improving UI messages. That doesn't make you a UX writer. A UX writer is about understanding the product UI, providing the content that suits the usability of product UI in terms of end user. As a technical writer, if you want to become a UX writer, you have a better chance than others. Reason is 50%, I would say, of the skill set that a UX writer requires, you already have it because of your profession. You have a better chance of becoming a UX writer. And again, UX writing is one field which is booming now in India also. You will see many companies asking for UX writers. So this is UX writer. And apart from that, of course, next could be the general role growth will be from technical writing to leader. And these are the general things that you can do. Now, if you don't want to do things related to technical writing only, you want to transition to other fields. Remember, from wherever you have started your technical writing career, What you have done, you have learned the skills of technical writer. Technical writers are welcomed everywhere. Reason is they have the ability to think and they have the skill to write. In today's world, whomsoever you are, even if you are a CEO, the ability to write is the core part considered. So technical writers are considered to be blessed with that. As a result, any field you want to go, the basic skills you are meeting. Now, the only thing you need to, you identify the field, and for that particular field, there must be some unique skill set required. For example, you want to become a Scrum Master, you want to become a development manager, you want to become a business analyst, you want to become a product manager. There are multiple instances of technical writers transforming into those roles, transitioning into those. The only thing they have done very well is they have prepared. So you will have to prepare in the same way like people from other profession will have to prepare themselves to become a technical writer. You also need to prepare on those core skills. So those people who are asking, can I become this? Can I become that? Yes, you can become everything. Remember, you have the gift of two things. You have, as a technical writer, you have skilled into understanding the product and the audience. That's two major important thing any field needs. And then you have the art of presenting in a very simple way, which is the writing skill. These three things will help you get into any other field a bit easily. Yes, provided if you learn the core skills related to that field. Okay, so that is about transitioning. If as a technical writer, we think about skill set, generally what we should have, language control, whatever we talked before. Communicate, tools, yes, but those people who always keep asking about which tools and all, please remember, yes, as you grow senior, you may need expertise in some tools, but otherwise for general work, the main thing is you need to understand how a tool works. That's the core understanding you need, so that tomorrow if you are exposed to a new tool, the basics generally remain same. You won't take much time. That is why at least I recommend that if there is a technical writer who has good hold about understanding a tool, if you want to learn a new tool, either just go and download the trial period. They have there some learning material, use that and you can learn on your own. That's how I did. I never went for a technical documentation tool training. I used FrameMaker, RoboHelp, AuthorIt, many tools I have used. I never thought that, okay, I need a training. Otherwise, at least for tools. Then also, if you don't think that, okay, you can do on your own, fine. See, go somewhere for learning part, just learn the getting started part. Rest, as a technical writer, you already have the art of experimenting, testing, and creating projects. So do that. So, but in the end, tools, at least those documentation tools, are not the defining factor, but your language control, how you write, how you communicate, that becomes the defining factor. The senior you grow, what you communicate changes, whether you have a mindset of making, some kind of decisions, working on your own, working properly in agile, working independently. This you will see always in the JDs of senior technical writers and principal, that somebody who works independently, somebody who works as a lead also and helps others also. So these things will get added, and I'm sure with experience, in case you have not been able to do that, you have been too much focused only on your work, please try to use those during your work phase. Everything will add to your skills. It's not a burden on you. And tomorrow when you want to transition, it will help you. Okay, so trending skills, certainly. So there is no one trending skill we can talk about. Okay, trending skill, if I say Markdown is a trending, actually maybe today we have heard about Markdown. Markdown was existing since 2004. People started using it in technical documentation popularly from 2010. Right now we are in 2022. Still we are calling it as trending because probably nowadays we see more of it. We talk about API documentation. API documentation is not something which has evolved from 2021. It was there. Now it is getting more popular. So fine, whichever way you define it, if you want to call those trending skills, fine, it's trending skill. All I'm saying is keep your eyes open. Places like LinkedIn, places your networking group, wherever you are, those are very nice places to learn. Get the terms from people that, okay, what's new in the industry? Try to spend some time on yourself and learn those things. That's very much required. Even if your current company is not using it, please spare some time. Most of the tools which we use do have trial period. And the salary that you earn, I'm sure all of you will have 2 laptops, one for office, which is given by office, and one for yourself, your family. On your personal laptop, do that. Don't think that, okay, this is out of my scope. Remember, and why I'm saying this, I will give you a very bad example. Recently, a major layoff happened in a event that included documentation team members, and that layoff was not in some small startup. It's in a big company where the documentation team is huge, and the documentation team is, their documentation is also kind of good and all. But those people, those who got laid off, and then they might have gone to everywhere. They came, some of them came to me also that, okay, you know, senior and all, 10+ years of experience, but we have been working in that company for 5+ years continuously and all. And our eyes were closed. We were just focused on our project, the tools, the internal tools they were using. Now, when we are going for interviews, it looks like the world has completely changed. So this is what happens if you keep your eyes closed. God forbid, I am not praying that something happens bad to me or anybody else, but be prepared that don't get into the situation like those people that tomorrow, if you need a job immediately, and then you realize, oh, yes, in your organization, you were great, you were respected, you were adored because you were one of the best. But what they were using, the processes they were using probably was outdated when we talk about the world. So keep yourself updated and learning. Once you learn, you will never forget it. Even if you are, it doesn't mean that you learn and you switch jobs. The idea is not about switching jobs. If you need, you switch, but keep updated, yourself updated, share knowledge. You're not able to use that knowledge in your organization. Share knowledge within the community. The more we share, the more we learn also. So yes, that's my recommendation basically. Now, if we just, okay, before I say now again, we will need 10 minutes more. Sorry for a bit of delay here, 10 minutes more. Okay, so I hope you can bear that. Agile writer. How many of you have seen that in today's JDs, there is a line, should be a good agile writer or should be good working in agile environment? Have you seen such a line for technical writer JDs? Yeah, I'll see one hand.
Yes.
And why do you think that is required? If I am an experienced technical writer, experienced can even mean two years, okay? If I am an experienced technical writer, and at least in IT, I assume most of you here are in IT, don't we always work in agile? We do. But still, why do these JDs have it? 5+ experience, senior technical writer required, principal writer required, and one line is should be a good agile writer. Do you think there is a challenge?
No, I don't think so. There's any challenge in it.
So why do they have it?
I think what they're trying to follow here is writers. They are trying to show that to nowadays, writer is should be in sync with all the teams. So that's why they intentionally add this agile word, because that shows that with all the teams like documentation and testing and all the teams, a writer is should be in sync with them.
No, fair point.
And they should.
Yes, go ahead.
No, I was just saying this.
Okay. Yeah, Revati, you want to say something? Or is that hand up like that? Agile uses Scrum and Kanban, which is mostly used in IT. Ramping up with the dev in the same sprint. We need to be smart.
Yeah, am I audible now? I'm sorry.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think the one reason why they mention agile writers, they want writers who are willing to write in a sprintly fashion. When the development happens in a sprint, ideally they want to a story is broken down into multiple tasks, and each person, including development, testing, and writing, is supposed to complete their respective tasks for that story to get completed. And so that there is no lag in documentation efforts, there's no lag in content development, it doesn't go into the next sprint or probably doesn't cross the next sprint, is why they want someone who will probably be able to write alongside the development activities. And I think for that, you have to have a mindset. And most of the times, writers are a shared resource across products. So I think it helps when if someone is able to multitask and at the same time make sure that things are completed in a sprintly manner. So I think they basically want someone who will have the mindset to work along with the team and alongside the team as well.
Wonderful point. Any other pointer? You can unmute yourself if you have. It takes me time.
To add on to the point, the scope of the technical writer will also involve writing release notes, if I'm not wrong. So that also will go along with every release in the sprint. So I think that also will come to the purview of this, saying that they have to work in the agile environment, other than writing end user documentation or documentation for internal teams, different stakeholders. The release notes also will be under the scope of technical writer. So all of this will pertain to the agile environment, I guess.
Wonderful point. Yes, release notes these days, mostly it's part of the role of technical writer, certainly. Okay, one aspect I would like to mention, but before that, again, I will ask a question. All of you or most of you here must have worked in agile environment, and that too with other documentation team members, not only you being there. One question, and try to think and answer. In agile, we work in two different ways. One is other team members assign us the task. Other team members means non-doc team. It can be dev, product, anybody. Other way of working is doc team members. It can be your manager or it can be you. Assigns the task on own. Have you seen both circumstances?
Yes.
Yes. Now this first part is what companies don't want. They want technical writers when they say agile. Yes, what you have mentioned is valid. Apart from that, when they say agile writer, they want you to be proactive. They want you to work independently. They want you to handle each and everything related to documentation on your own, apart from the general communication, timely deliveries, sprint deliverables and all. They want you to be that. Unfortunately, many technical writers still wait for the orders. Okay, dev will say, hey, our list is ready. Okay, these are the tasks for you. Or somebody else will say, and then people start working. And then also when they are working for everything, they will trouble somebody rather than finding resources on their own from the Jira tasks, read it properly. So rather than following the process, they basically follow people. They are dependent on people. So this is where one thing has come up, that nobody has time in agile, even development, product managers, others, they are busy with their work also. They also have a lot of work in agile. It's a fast environment to work in. So this is where agile comes in, and I will certainly request all doc teams, not only ICs, the managers also take control of agile. In agile is a very powerful method of working, and if a doc team can take control of that, your visibility will be huge, your productivity will be greater, and all that coordination where we face niggles or where we face challenges, many things can be reduced. And this is where that agile writer thing is coming. In the same way, if it is coming in the JD, that means people are not getting such technical writers. Although there are technical writer profiles of experience, they are not getting that agile part. That's why they are forced to write that. Like the same way, I'm not sure how many of you have seen, but even for experienced technical writers, one line is written, good in technical writing skills. What is this? I'm claiming I'm 5 years experience, 10 years experience. Shouldn't that come automatically? Does somebody need to tell me that you should be good in technical writing skills? What are those skills they are looking for? Those are the basic skills of thinking, planning. So if some skills are at times missed, not in all, but in a lot of people, then only such things come up. And yes, agile thing is certainly, I would recommend, be a master this art and see how your career grows. Okay, now just to summarize. Okay, first a disclaimer. Of course, this is made by me. There are many things which can be different because technical writing now is a vast field. Technical writing is no more just limited to one particular thing about writing document. There is a huge path of growth even in technical writing. So this is just a representation of some skills. How I perceive, I am always open for debate. Outside the session also, you can come and debate and you can provide me suggestions if something needs to be added here. Okay, to excel as technical writer, first, yes, you become a technical writer. That's point number one. And to become a technical writer, at least I think that's the two core things that you need. Okay, plain technical writing English. Figure it out. What is technical writing English? Be an expert in that. You should know the authoring processes because depending upon the kind of documentation, you may need to use a mix of multiple authoring processes. It cannot be all the time data, topic-based authoring. There are multiple other things. You need to be good in that. Then based on the market demand and the JDs, a bit of senior technical writers, we always see knowledge of data. And this I feel at times surprised also. Even those companies which are not using data, they will say knowledge of data. Single source tool, because it provides a different output. So at least those people who have the questions about tools, at least those tools, you cannot learn all the tools. Please remember, there are not just 4 or 5 tools in the documentation world. If you just Google, there is a wiki page about technical documentation tools. And if you see the list, there are 200 plus tools, out of which at least 50 tools are popular. You don't need to learn all. Tools also has a family. You can categorize it as a family of tools. So learn one tool from one family. Rest of the tools you will learn very easily. So it doesn't mean, for example, single sourcing tool is one, a single source tool is one. HATs, you have heard about HAT, H-A-T, it's an abbreviation for Help Authoring Tools. So out of that, if you learn one tool, other tool more or less will work in the same fashion. So don't try to learn each and every tool, but yeah, if you are, for some reason, if you want, download the trial version, keep practicing, keep adding to the resume. But yeah, the popular tools, certainly if you have good hands-on on that, it gives you a better visibility. Then comes the agile writer. In today's world, agile writer is a very popular thing in demand. Okay, and if you have done it during interview, it will all help your interview, it will help you at work. But apart from that, when you're going for interview, the better you talk about, people will ask you challenges. How do you handle an SME who is very tough? Unless you are a good agile writer and you have an experience of that, those bookish answers will not work, because the people who are asking questions, they are also a good knowledgeable person. So, and agile is a big challenge. People realize that, okay, we can find technical writers, but then technical writers with such behavioral attitude where they can be a good agile writer, that mix is a bit difficult. Okay, now coming to the next part, Docsys code is very famous nowadays. It's being available. Docsys code is available in multiple packages. There are Docs as code with different kind of static websites, different kind of dynamic websites. When we talk about authoring part, Docs as code, many use Markdown, some use Asciidoc, some use RST. There are different things available. Overall, documentation as code. That's how it is called as. Many companies are using it. So again, this involves Docs as code is considered a bit technical because it gets you out of comfort zone. It's no more about editor being provided by tool and you're writing. And even if you're writing in Markdown or Asciidoc, they have some different kind of short code. You don't, at times you have the luxury of editor where you just need to select, you don't need to do anything, but at times you don't have, you need that knowledge. Then most of them are integrated elsewhere for repository. They are using GitHub, Bitbucket or anything, Eclipse and all. So you need to understand that. And then comes the last part where your website is there, which is either on a static site generator or a dynamic site generator. So again, you need to understand that. So this is considered a bit technical. Docs as code is very popular nowadays in European part. And of course, in India also, you see a lot of scope. So I will certainly recommend this is the next level. And then who can forget the developer documentation? Developer documentation to start with, just to get into API documentation writer. Yes, you don't need to be technical. You need to have good technical writing skills, but the more you grow in it, you need to be technical. You need to understand the language. You don't need to write code, but you should have the ability to read it properly. And when you grow senior in this field, then you see this field means as an API documentation writer or a developer documentation, you need to write some pieces of code too in some languages. So that's a learning curve. So, and plus stay abreast with all the trending things. And in all this, there is one part which is not covered because it's more focused on writing. The visual part, drawing images, drawing different kind of diagrams. I'm not talking about taking screenshots. Those, those kind of tools which are very popular, try to learn that, because putting images and all in your document is very powerful if you can conceptualize it better. And then of course, videos. So yes, there are different skills. So I would say pick any, see if you don't have some. This is a very generic one. You can pick more detailed one, or you can talk to me about more details. Okay. Any questions still here? Otherwise, we would like to spend last 5 minutes on the last part. This is what I have to say about people who are technical writers already at different levels and what they can do in their career to grow within technical writing field. These are the things you can do. If you want to move outside technical writer, then as we discussed, you can explore that. Yes, the only thing, one line I will say, you can move to any field. You can, there is no field. I have seen people forget about being a product manager. That's still very much in line with what you're doing. I have seen people who have from technical writer transition to development. They have become not only developer, they have become development manager. Think about it. So everything is possible. Any questions? Wonderful. Okay, so all those people who are already technical writers, you have some good number of experience, 5 years or 10 years, and you want to become a manager. What do you need to do? Yes, as a technical writer, you have good knowledge of product, you have good knowledge of working with teams. But how? It's like, as a technical writer, if I can crack a joke at the cost of my managers, as a technical writer, we are sitting on the other side of the table and we always say all the work we do, these managers just sit and, share some spreadsheets, presentation, and that's all they do. That's the general joke, right? But now when you want to become a manager, you will see how the role changes, what actually the manager does. So if I have to ask you all, if you want to become a manager, not you, if somebody wants to become a manager from a technical writer, what qualities they should have? Any guess, any idea?
Project management skills.
Okay, yes.
They should also understand the life cycle of that project.
Yes, master that life cycle, certainly, yes.
I would say managing the resources as per the timelines or the deadlines.
Managing resources, managing deadlines. So all that comes under managing project, right?
I could say leadership ability, and we must know how to get the work from the team. That's the main skill. And
I
to
think
balance
how to get what from the team?
the right work, what the
Right.
leader to get. Yeah.
Yes, very much. So basically, if I just conclude what all you said, one line of thought is about how to manage people, and one line of thought is how to manage project. Did I miss anything? Two things, right? Okay. So these things certainly. So that's managing. So overall, again, manager will manage. Other thing about managing I would like to add is managing people and managing project is fine. But apart from that, they should also know how to manage non-project team members. Okay. Non-project team members means stakeholders, other projects, leaders, because yes, they have to get the work done, but it's their job also to think about their team members, how to assign the work. Every person has some unique ability and some unique shortcoming also. So rather than just thinking about shortcoming, like one of you mentioned how to assign work and all. So say if I have 5 writers, I will try to find their strength. They might be having some common strength, some different unique strength. So based on their strength, first I will assign work. Once they are good in that, then I will try to help them in growing. Because as a manager, I should always remember it's no more as a writer, it was always about me. But as a manager, it's always about a team. And the stronger the team is, the better output the team provides, the better future for a manager is. Managers don't grow just by sharing spreadsheets, just by attending meetings. They grow better if their team performs better. If their team, and how will their team perform better? The better they take care of the team, the better they assign the work, they divide the work, they let the team members grow also. Rather than just thinking about how to get these 10 Jira tickets done in this release, they should always also give opportunity to writers to innovate, let them grow. And there may be, now who are these managers? These are not coming from some other planets. So like I was a technical writer once, some fine day I became a manager. Okay, so these are coming from the same stream. So there is a chance I might be a manager and I am having an experience of 10 years. There might be some principal technical writer in my team who is having 20 years of experience. I should not feel scared of that person. I should have good talent in my team, and I should not think that, okay, that person knows more than me, so that person is a threat to my position. Because if I'm a good manager, the kind of ability I have to manage, that person will not have. I should have relish my strength and let others also grow. So a manager, project management skills certainly required. For that, as a technical writer, you can do that on your own also. Otherwise, if somebody wants, they can have a PMP also. Okay, but as you have already worked for a long time on technical writing projects, probably you will develop that. Thinking about others, communication at all levels, communication to your team members, communication to your project team members, other teams, and communication to stakeholders. The leaders should always showcase the achievement of team within a project, what they are doing. It should be always showcased. It can't be just told that, okay, in this release, we updated 5 guides, prepared 3 videos. No, that's not done. Demo it like dev demos it, QA demos it, UX teams demo it that, okay, in this sprint, we did this. In this sprint, we did this. So the manager should prepare a program for the team members to demo it. The more visibility, manager should always work towards more visibility for a doc team. The better the visibility of the doc team, the better the visibility of that manager is. So managers' communication skill and of course the people management and project management is required. And as a manager, the core thing to remember is that you are no more just one person working as a technical writer. Many ICs become manager, but they never leave that, garb of that ICs. They always have this. And don't interfere too much into others' work. Let them work. And once your chance comes to suggest or provide recommendation, then provide. So all these skills they need. So here you see that you move away from the general IC role and you do a lot of other things. When we say a lot of other things, probably what all you can do. The main thing as a manager, you should always have focus about how to have a planned approach, a timed approach. And that approach should not be only limited when you are talking to your reportees or only in your slides. Always showcase. And by showcasing, it's not about boasting. It's always about the work you are doing and your team is doing and planning. And there is a process in Agile for that, especially. Dev plan, QA plan, everything is demonstrated right before the project starts. In the same way, doc plan should be there. What could be the doc challenges? The manager should have this spine to stand up and say that, okay, this work cannot be done because our resources are already too tied up. They should not ask in case they should not just be always too harsh on their team members. If other teams are coming up with unplanned work regularly, on and off, it's okay once in a while, but regularly if it's happening and if it's not following as per the process, they are the persons who should stand up. Everybody will love it because Agile is all about process. This is what I'm talking about. Master the art of working in Agile. If as an IC or if as a leader, if you have mastered it, the technical documentation team in your organization is going to have a very bright future. You will work independently, people will respect better, and there will be a better visibility. So for a manager, of course, the basic work, as you said, manage the doc team, manage the project team. Managing the management, I would say, is the most important thing. This only brings visibility. And why is this required? You may have a documentation team which is working day in and out, but when it comes to appraisals, many companies, doc team members don't get that good appraisal. Okay, and reason is you are always considered as a support team. You are not considered as a third pillar, actual third pillar of the company. So this is where manager's role comes in picture. And this process has to be started right from the beginning, not only during appraisal cycle. Unless the management understands the value of documentation team, there will be negative impact. Once they understand, there will be good positive impact. Okay. Manager's role should be also about taking initiatives. It should not be reactive approach. They should have proactive approach. Manager's core job is to become proactive. And of course, at least I think of that, okay, as a doc team, we should establish ourselves as one of the most, because you are doing one of the most important thing in the company. So manager's job, at least from my perspective, if there are so many things involved, it's a very tough job, but yes, it's very much doable also. So these are the things generally as a manager you will do, but main thing is you check yourself. You own your skills about project management. For resources, how you handle with resources, this is a general behavior, right? So see if there is a scope of improvement, try to work on it. communication skills should be really, really good. These things done, I think you will have all the trait of being a manager. And yes, knowledge level, of course, your knowledge level should be really good so that your team members should look up to you for suggestions. So all that I like to say. For a manager, I think that's all I have. If there is any scope of questions. Yes, Revati, ability to keep the team motivated, certainly. That's where I'll say do such things which makes team members happy. They should not be only thinking about 10 Jira tasks that I have to complete. They should be given the scope to think beyond, to innovate also, to have some learning curve also, and all that manager has to arrange. Not at all. This is where we will see the manager should not micromanage. You will often see this line and forwards, right, on LinkedIn and other places. Be a leader, don't be a manager. So actually, yes, micromanagement, certainly. I don't know why people at times don't realize if some manager is micromanaging, they don't realize that actually they are hurting themselves only. If they are micromanaging, the team will never be motivated. They will keep on losing the good resources. As a result, the team's progress will be impacted. When the team's progress is impacted, senior management will never ask ICs. They will directly ask the manager, why is your team not improving? Once or twice that manager can go and say, okay, out of 5 team members, 3 team members refuse to work and all. Once that's fine. In the second release also, if the manager is saying the same, then the management will ask, what are you there for if the team members are not working? You're supposed to make them work properly. There is something wrong with you. So micromanagement does that negative impact, and I'm not sure why some people don't realize it. Some do realize it in a hard way when they are forced to make it realize, but it should not be there at all. Any other pointers or questions? Okay, great. So then thank you so much. That's all I had, and I hope there was something for all of you to learn, and keep the discussions on in the group. This is a very interesting topic. All of you can always talk about and learn from each other. Yes, Kirutika, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask one question. Is the time is up? So can I go ahead or?
Yeah, we are already much ahead of time, but you can go ahead. Just go ahead.
No, just on-site opportunities for technical writers. Do we have some guidelines or how to? Because is that or it's much tough?
Okay, yeah. So for on-site opportunities, we see people that.
As
sorry, did you add something, Kiritika?
You're not able to hear me? You're able to hear?
Yes, yes. You asked about on-site opportunity. Anything else you asked?
Yes. Yes, it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So for on-site opportunities, there are lesser, but yes, there are. Recently, I came across, I think I know people recently in the last 6 months, they have gone to Singapore, they have gone to Poland, Germany, and I think one person has gone to Czech. So, and they have properly migrated for work. So what they have done, sorry?
Okay.
Yeah. So there is a process.
Thing is, like if Singapore, everything. Okay.
Yes.
No, the thing is, Singapore is like everyone expecting that citizen should be Singapore. I'm exploring that. I've tried many things, but everyone says generally we can't try from here. You have to go there, get to visa, proper citizenship, and then to try. Is that the only way, or can we try from here? That is all.
We can try from here. Of course, being citizen and then getting job is of course not the last option. not the only option. There are other options because it's practically not possible to first get the citizenship and then get the job. Some companies, at least in Singapore, I know that there is something called PR or something. Okay, so
Yeah.
that is provided. In the same way, these people about whom I'm referring to, they have got jobs in Europe. So there must be some rules regarding that. One thing I can say 100% that just being the citizen is not the criteria to get the work. So every company will have its rule. But yeah, one thing we will have to remember, it's not just about visa and all, those are documents, okay? But say you're going to work in Europe. Now you will also have to see what kind of a skill set sells there, because there is another rule in every company. Technically, they are supposed to hire outsiders only if they don't get the resources of that skill set in their company, in their country. Okay, that's one rule, although everybody doesn't follow it because at times Indians or outsiders, they have to pay a bit lesser, so they don't follow it. It's all about money. But before preparing, so what I would recommend is zero in on one or two country. Okay, find out the rules. If you want, you can use our Telegram group and all where you can ask. I think some of those people are there. They can also help. So zero in on the document part and also get ready with the highest skill set. You will certainly need a bit of higher skill set, which is available in that country. Remember, a skill set in India might be a bit different from what you need for to work as a writer in Germany. There might be a few other things that may be selling point there. Okay, so be aware of that. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, it is possible. Numbers are less, it's increasing, but it is possible. Ireland is one option. Even I keep on getting jobs. I don't work anymore for anybody. Otherwise, I keep getting offers from Ireland. All they are asking is come there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a question in chat? How much of pay scale? This is Mr. Srinivas. Now I'm working as a documenter, so we get ourselves elevated into core, and how much of a pay scale we can land into, how we get ourselves. So documenter, when you say what kind of role is it, Srinivas?
Yeah, hi Puneet.
Yes.
Yeah, so now actually the documenting of documents, like we will be updating revisions, so versions of the documents. So only like editing part we are doing now, but we are labeled as now currently as technical writers.
Okay. So pay scale, yeah. So when we talk about pay scale and moving into technical writing, it certainly depends upon the kind of companies you are applying to and what standards they use and what experience they figure out in your profile. Okay, pay scale is not standard. That's where I said it's not about number of years of experience. I just gave an example. Somebody with 10 years of experience might be also earning 10 lakhs or 11 lakhs, and somebody with 4 years of experience is getting 20 plus lakhs. Okay, so when we switch, it is about a bit of number of years of experience, but primarily it's about your skill set. That defines your pay scale.
Okay,
does that make
yeah,
sense?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Somebody trying to say something?
Hi, Puneet. Am I audible?
Yes.
Hi, Puneet. So just had a query to what you mentioned earlier for the Ireland opportunities. So I just wanted to know like how exactly we can follow the part to get a job in that case. Like, is that I need to get a certification or a course from there, or like directly I can apply? Can you please suggest some ideas on that, please?
Look, there are two things. One is companies approaching you, and another thing is you are hunting. Okay. When companies are approaching you, so companies approached me, so I won't be able to tell exactly how it happens because I never proceeded with it. But if you are hunting, so this is where I said, try to zero in on some countries. LinkedIn is a very good place. surf on those hashtags and jobs, okay? And you will see the jobs there. Mostly you will see. Otherwise, in general, I will say, yeah, groups are there. Get in touch with me separately and I will try to help you out. Otherwise, in the groups also, we can certainly ask. People do keep sharing also. I think a week or so before we had a session with, I don't know whether you attended, Sumedh. We had a session with Sumedh also where he was talking about a lot of opportunities. So yeah, come to the group or somewhere and yeah, LinkedIn and all, try to search with the hashtag of that country. But it is very important if all, this is to all the people, if you want to seriously move out to some other country, zero in on some names. Don't just search for random foreign jobs. Those leaves will, there are 200 countries. Okay, filter, make some filter, zero in on some companies, and it's a process. It doesn't happen in one day. Documentation of that company, what is required that you need. But apart from that, you also need to see what skill set sells there in that company. You need to prepare yourself for that so that tomorrow, if some call comes, you are ready. Okay.
All right, Puneet. Thank you so much.
Sure. Mayur, so listen, 1 second. We have a question in chat. I'm just trying to answer that and then we'll come back. So Mayur is asking, what are your thoughts on tech writer in manufacturing domains having much lesser pay scale? There is no thought to say here, but yeah, when we talk about IT, due to the industry and the way it is, pay scales are always better. Opportunities are always more. When we talk about manufacturing, when we talk about all those aerospace and other domains, they have their own limitations. And at times they also know that people cannot move to some other field because those are the only limited options. In aerospace, when we see across India, there will be hardly, if you see on a bigger field, bigger way, there will be hardly 7 to 8 companies which are hiring. Yes, they will have a good team strength, 100 technical writers and all. But people know that those technical writers don't have much option. They will not be able to move out. In IT industry, companies are scared. There are so many options. They don't know when their candidate is where their candidate is moving next. They are forced to pay them good salary. So it's all about a bit of industry comparison also. So there is no straightforward answer, but yeah, IT field is certainly, there are more opportunities. There are more options also. Job options are a lot of job options. That's why there is a good salary. Shruti, you have a question?
Yes, hi Puneet.
Yeah.
My first session with TWT that I have attended. So first of all, I have to say it is really insightful. Thank you so much for this session, and thank you to you as well. My question is, I have just recently begun my career as a technical writer. Earlier, I was into project management, and then I pursued masters in English, and now I'm into technical writing.
Okay.
I am in a company, it's a small scale startup, and they don't really have a team. So I'm the first technical writer there, and I'm also starting my baby steps. They are also new into this. So I am actually looking for a mentor who can, guide me as to how I have to take this thing ahead. So does TWT offer any mentorship for an individual? Is there some service like that that TWT offers, or you in as a experienced technical writer, do you offer such service where we can take your mentorship and learn on and progress ahead?
Yeah, certainly. And that's first of all, congratulations on starting into technical writing. Really glad to meet. And as far as the requirement is concerned, look, we have different kind of groups. Okay, that's where like Telegram groups and other groups we have where you can ask questions and people will answer. Those people are not the employees of TWT. They are technical writers, experienced writers of different levels. Okay. So that's a networking place there where you ask questions and you get answers also. That's one very straightforward way. As far as mentoring and this kind of guidance is concerned, so yes, we do have some options and we can talk about it separately.
Yes, yes. Thank you. I'll definitely approach you. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think we are royally. Sorry, go ahead.
What are the certifications technical writers can take?
Any profession. You are saying what are the professions technical writer can take? That's what you asked, right?
Certifications.
Certifications. Okay. Certifications depends upon the kind of a skill. So as a technical writer, there are different kind of skill sets involved, starting from technical writing certificate. Then you get into specializations like API documentation, Markdown, all those things which you can see a technical writer can do. People can have certificates on that. Agile, working in Agile. Okay. Then tools, of course, are there for those tools. How to write task-based topics, authoring processes. So yes, certification is available for almost everything that we do, and you can pick any of those. Was that your question?
So the CPTC certification or ATD certifications?
Okay, ATD certifications and all those are, again, technical writing. As I said, technical writers are everywhere. Okay, if you talk about IT field, there is different kinds. Then there are language and standards. So for fields like mechanical, aerospace and others, there are hardware related standards. So for that, there is a different kind of training. For language related, there is STE something. Okay. Standard Technical English, then which people in aerospace use. There is S1000 standard, documentation standard. So depends which industry you're talking about. If you're talking about IT industry, these won't apply. Then those skill set that I talked, those will apply. If you're talking about mechanical and others, then they will have their own standards, which are mandatory for people to learn.
Okay.
So
and how about
sorry to budge in here. So to add to what Puneet was saying was when you are talking about certification, so in technical writing software industry, there is no hard and fast rule that you have to be certified. People do go for certification. Sometimes they do mention in job descriptions that the candidate should be a technical writing, should have a certificate in that. But there is no hard and fast rule for that. Okay, so you might get into it without having a certificate also. There are certificates available depending on, as Puneet said, what you want to aspire for, and have that kind of skill.
Okay,
yeah, that's it. That's
okay. Thanks, thanks. Yeah.
One point just I wanted to add about certification. These days, certifications you will see on the same topic from many places, at least on social media and all. Okay. Before doing any certification, before enrolling for any certification with anyone, including TechWriters Tribe, I'm saying, before paying even a single penny, always do figure it out whether it is solving my purpose. Yeah. Many times people try to go and just go for cheaper courses because it's like 400, 500 bucks, and then they realize it didn't solve my purpose. They keep on roaming around here and there for different kind of things. So if any of you who wants to do, okay, if you just want to do for basic knowledge, go ahead and do anything. But if you are doing some certification for some serious knowledge, always ask the right questions before joining anything. Then there are India-based certification, there are global certification, there are instructor-led classes, there are video-led classes. Then that's your pick, which suits you.
Okay. Is there any site or blog which we can refer to take and prepare for such certifications, whether it is in India or which is globally applicable?
No, so look, you are Sahana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sahana, when you are saying this is a very generic term, right? Any global. So this is what I'm trying to tell. Even when we talk about technical writing, there are hundreds of skills when you zero in, okay? One thing is like, okay, technical writing certificate, you will zero in, you will find our course, you will find multiple other courses. If you will say API documentation, you will find multiple courses. So here you have a name. But if we zero in, there are like, okay, certification in Agile, certification in project management, certification in Markdown, certification in GitHub uses. So you will have to find out do you have a list that what all technical writers need? Are you clear about whether you are talking about IT or are you talking about hardware
Yeah,
industry?
Particularly to mention about IT certification for technical writers,
Yeah,
and I was relating somewhere like as a PMP is for managers. What is it for technical writers? That way.
so like as Pallavi mentioned, first of all, we are still not very hardcore following that, okay, you should have this certificate, okay? But when you talk about, so you will have to pick the specific skill set. So if you want to become an API documentation writer, okay, so you will have to take a API documentation certificate. There is no one particular course which will give you training in each and everything. So there only you will have to, if you're going for a technical writing course, you can see how many skill set it is using. So probably it will
I
include. Yeah.
guess there is a confusion here, Sahana. Just like probably you are talking about CCNA or such kind where
Yeah,
you can take training
exactly.
from
Yeah.
somewhere and then there's a certification authority which gives you a certificate, right? No,
Yes.
so we
Yeah,
don't.
I meant that way.
Yeah. So no, that kind of certification doesn't exist in technical writing industry. So it's
Okay.
not that if you are a certified technical writer, then there's a certifying authority which actually signs you that, okay, you have covered all aspects and now you are a certified. So there are different institutions which give technical writing certificates, just like Tech Writers Tribe, but there is no certifying authority as such.
Okay. Yeah. This is now I'm more clear. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. So there are like multiple courses run by various institutions, and they give their own certification.
Yeah.
So there's no centrally authorized certifying authority for technical writing. At least till now, there's none.
Mhm.
Got it? Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Hi, this is Subhashish here. I just want to know how do we join the technical writing group in particular city? Let's say I am from Kolkata. I want to join the TWD writers group from Kolkata. How do I do that?
We will, if you have filled that in the form, we will add you.
Okay, you're going to add me to that group.
Yeah, as long as the mobile number that you have provided is your WhatsApp number, we will add you. Okay.
Okay, thank you. And the one question, like, do you have this kind of session every weekend or like how do you conduct it?
Depends, but generally we tend to have multiple webinars. Next week also there is something. So these webinars are a regular feature. Online events are a regular feature. You can follow. If you become part of a group, you will anyway get the information what's happening. Okay, so you can keep a tab on that.
Okay, thank you, Puneet. Thank you so
Sure.
much.
Okay, so
Also, for any kind of updates, please do follow us on LinkedIn page. All our activities are posted already. Whatever is coming up, whatever we are doing is all posted on LinkedIn, Facebook. We are on all social medias, and as you said, we are on WhatsApp, and we have a global Telegram group also. You must have already filled all those information in the form when you registered for it. So, but still, just to reiterate.
awesome. Okay, so first of all, we are royally 1 hour late, but I hope that's fine. So thanks to all of you who could stick around. And
So
that's
before
all.
1 minute, Puneet, again, I'm I'm cutting you short here because I would really like to ask everyone who have any questions. If you're like want to join technical writing industry, this is We already have some experienced technical writers already as participants here. You can just ask them, ask any questions here again. This is the last chance to clear all your doubts. Anyone?
Hi, I'm yeah. Hi. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Aarti, is it?
Yeah, I just want to
Yes,
know. See,
Aarti.
as well as we take this training course for, I think, which lasts for 3 months, right? Weekend courses.
Yes. For technical writing, we have two
Yes,
9 weeks course. It's a starting
Oh
in
my,
January.
okay. Okay, is this only weekend course or it's a daily online course?
Only Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay, but what is the that is within what span of time we'll get the job? Like, will you be guiding us to get a job?
We will be assisting you after the course. There is a certificate. We will be assisting you after that.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
So again, to add to what Puneet is saying, though this session was not really for advertising our technical writing fundamentals course, but to encourage people to come into technical writing because there is a lot of scope which is coming up for the very, very reason that especially during the pandemic, everything is going online, and definitely if there are more softwares, we need more technical writers. I mean, that's the simplest reason, or that's the simplest thing which can really motivate one to take up technical writing. So yeah, so once the course, but still to answer your question, Aarti, once the course is, you've done the course, you've done your assignments, we help you create a portfolio, we help you, prepare yourself, prepare your resume to go into the market. Okay, and there are a lot of opportunities if you're just in the group only, and if you scroll up, if you're in the Telegram group, your chat history is available. You can simply see that there are so many people who just refer for their companies, that and they get a referral for this. So there's no looking back after that. But yeah, you have to be, as we said, it's all your hard work, which we can support, and we can really take that forward. But there's no shortcut to it. Shortcut to your hard work and your motivation and your perseverance to excel in this field.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Hi.
Yeah,
Hi, am
sure.
I audible again?
Yes, Prachi.
Yeah. Thanks. So my question is, I've already done a course in technical writing last year, and
Okay.
it's been a year. I have taken up a couple of assignments, like on and off, and I'd been associated with a company which was more into marketing. My question is, like, is there any suitable course for me which I can take up to boost my career in a technical writing field? Because what I'm getting so far is kind of content writing, and
Okay.
my limitation is that I would be able to take a job if it is a remote job, and I won't be able to be present on the site.
Mhm.
So yeah, so in that scenario, what would be ideal situation for me? Like, what would be which particular area in technical writing field would be good, as well as is there anything that I can do to enhance my knowledge? Any particular course that I can take up?
So, Prachi, what I would suggest is we can take this offline because first
Yeah.
we'll need to go through a bit of your CV, what you have expertise in, and how to go about it. Like if you have been doing content technical writing, probably looking at what projects you have done, we can guide you better rather than just telling you that, oh, you can do this course, right? Probably
Okay.
you don't need a course since you've already done a course, but let's see whether what's your CV says, what you want to do, and how you can, or are you really looking in the same, in a proper direction
Mhm.
as to getting into proper software technical writing. Okay,
Yeah.
so we can take this offline sometime, and see that how we can really guide you into taking a proper technical software technical project. So as I said that probably you might not be looking at in the correct direction or searching for it in the correct direction. So we can take that, yeah. So proper keywords or what you have already done in the course, or if you really need to enhance, then we can suggest you that also, that hey, probably you can do these smaller course for it.
Correct. Yes, I just need that right direction because I think I'm just shooting in dark, like, randomly, even though I have got the opportunities, but it is just, it's kind of random at the moment. So,
yeah.
How can I approach you? Like, is there any way or?
You already have our mail IDs, right? Support or at TechWriters. You can mail us, and also once we get a mail from you, then we can be associated on WhatsApp or Telegram. So, and we can call you also, and we can have a talk. Anyway, all communication channels are open, but start with a mail so that we have you in the mailing list, right?
Sure, definitely. I'll just drop in a line. Thank you so much.
Sure. Most welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, Abhinav, we will add you to the WhatsApp group once this this finishes by mostly today. Today, 31st, we have a party. I am going to party and have a booze by tomorrow. Does that sound good? Okay, yeah. So just kidding. Yeah, we will do that just after the after this for sure.
No, not for sure. Yeah, we will do that. And otherwise, all the actions will have to wait till 2nd January. It will be done. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, tomorrow will not be in our senses.
Otherwise,
we're all drunk.
Otherwise, for now, I will say that global Telegram link is there in the email. Please join that and we will add you by 2nd. Okay, so with this, let's end this. Otherwise, this chit chat is never going to end. I'm stopping the recording. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I hope it helped in some way, and at least to all the senior technical writers, I will say, yeah, from now onwards, whenever you're guiding somebody, please make sure to tell them that, okay, this technical writing is a very good field, but it does need some hard work to be a technical writer, and then guide them. So thank you, everyone. Have a very good, happy new year.
Yeah, happy new year.